Welcome to Cancer Opportunities, where we discuss cancer-related issues and we explore healing from the intersection of body, mind, and soul. And today we have a special guest. Here today we have Astrid Klein Lankhorst. And welcome, Astrid.
Thank you so much, Alan. Happy to be here. Well, I'm Astrid Klein Lankhorst. I live in the Netherlands. I live in the north of the country, and I am a psychosynthesis therapist and logosynthesis practitioner and trainer. And in the Netherlands, we have a small community around logosynthesis. And so I also know Yanni Dauma personally, who has written this wonderful book.
Right. And it's interesting because you are a logosynthesis trainer, and this book is also connected to logosynthesis, and we're going to be talking about that later on. Let's take a first step back, and I'd like to know what were your first reactions when you read this book?
Well, my first reaction was, wow.
Tell me about it.
Well, when you start to put it in your hands, you have already this feeling of care to get this book together. It has been beautiful, edited. It has beautiful colors, it has beautiful colored prints in it from flowers from Yanni's garden. And the first impression is just, oh, there has been so much care to make this a beautiful book to be of support for people suffering from cancer or other illnesses or crisis situations. It really impressed me, this careful outlook and this, yeah, beautiful.
Right. And I hear you see that the contents of this book can be applied for cancer, but also for other body situations or other illnesses.
That
Tell us
was
a little bit about that.
actually the first thing while I was reading the book. I thought this is just not only for cancer patients. Because Yanni gives all kinds of tips for people how to focus on well-being, on positivity, on she gives all kinds of tips to improve small things in getting more healthy if you don't feel well. So going into nature, what you could eat or could try, how you could be with other people, especially important tips for people around the patient, what to do or not to do so that this patient can be full of dignity and strength and everything the patient needs to recover and feel support from the surrounding and not the fears, the stress from their environment. So I was very happy that this is part of the book. She delivers all kinds of tips. She has, well, she had a cancer herself, so it's firsthand her own impressions, her own reality that she writes down in the book. And I think this makes the book so special. It feels like this book is a good friend coming to you, supporting you because she has been there.
Right. And you are a therapist yourself, and I'm sure you also work with people who are going through this type of life transitions where they are recovering their health and recovering their power. So in that sense, what part of a book would you say that is the most relevant for someone who is recovering their power?
Well, for me, as a logosynthesis practitioner and trainer, I was struck by the logosynthesis part. There is such a clear instruction for people who have never heard of logosynthesis to how you can use this logosynthesis model and methods with specially written sentences to improve your own situation. It is so practical and so well, it's very clear written and easy to read and easy to proceed. I was very surprised. People can do it by themselves.
And so in that sense, if people can do it by themselves, it then becomes a tool that they can use on a daily basis to support their own growth.
They can use it on a daily basis. Yeah, and they will find several examples or how to work with it. If you are worried or you suffer from strong emotions, you can relieve the stress by saying sentences, creating those sentences. But also if you go to hospital, you have an operation or there are bodily symptoms. Yanni has provided so many examples that people can come into real situations where they need something like that just at that moment that they are there. And I love that.
I'm also a logosynthesis practitioner, and I'm also part of the community. And I understand that also there will be people who will be viewing this video who are hearing about logosynthesis for the first time. And I just heard that you said that just by repeating sentences, people can feel better. So would you like to tell us about how logosynthesis works and how it is connected to these sentences and how it helps you to feel better and recover your power?
Yes, for many people, this will sound very strange, maybe, that you can recover by just saying sentences. Well, in logosynthesis, this is what we have found out. It's still a bit a miracle. It is not really to explain by logical thinking at this moment yet. Speaking sentences and something happens, but it appears that if you feel stressed or you suffer from strong emotions or bodily symptoms, you can look at it as if your energy is somehow stuck or blocked because of this stress or pain or whatever you're suffering from. And if you give some words to what you experience and you find out what is exactly triggering you to feel so bad, you can create a sentence and you speak aloud several words. And what you do in the sentences is you make a shift in your energy system. Energy, you can imagine that your energy is somehow in your operation. So part of you is not available. It's going all the time with that operation. So that part of energy you cannot use to be strong or to be positive about the outcome. Part of you is kind of fixed in being all the time with that operation in your mind, in your system. So if you say those sentences aloud, you can say, I retrieve all my energy that is bound up in this operation, and I take it to the right place in myself. It is an easy sentence. People will think, where is that right place in yourself? The strange thing is you don't need to know. But what seems to happen is that, well, we are more than we think that we are as people, as human beings. We are not just an illness. We are much more. We have such potential. We have a healing potential. We have so many potential that we are not even aware of. And wow, what we're doing with the sentences, we're opening up to this potential that what we are more than just being an ill person. And so that we connect to our qualities of wisdom, of love, of strength. And sometimes I think, yeah, we never came to this idea, but in fact, it's natural. We have so many potentials that we are not really aware of, but once we are aware, we can use them. And we can even use them to improve parts of the process so that we feel less ill or that things change more quickly. And it seems a bit miraculous, but Well, I would say give it a try.
Yeah, I fully agree. The first time I encountered logosynthesis, I was struggling to get something done because I was struggling with procrastination. And I had a session with Dr. Willem Lambers. And I recall we were talking about this issue I was having with, and somehow this brought me back to a memory of my past and being a child, 6 years old, and learning to write and, doing homework, and my parents around me. And I said some sentences, and all that distress that came from that past just vanished. And I distinctly recall at that moment, I just started like looking around me as if something had left the space. And all that feeling of being stuck and confused and pushed just disappeared. And I was so astonished. It's really incredible, just like you said, that just how by repeating out loud sentences, our whole system can change. The way we think, the way we feel, the way we act, the way we see the world. And all these possibilities emerge, and then we're just ready to live life differently, maybe how we wanted to live. And I've also noticed that it's very connected to healing as well. That sometimes behind like just what you were saying, like behind all these difficulties that we face during the healing process physically, they're connected to emotional issues. And when we solve those emotional issues, then the healing is smoother and easier, and I still cannot explain it. But when people tell me, I just say, like, it's like the microwave oven. I don't know how it works. I just push buttons, but it works. That's it. And it does work.
Yeah.
And talking about that, I mean, how oligosynthesis works, beyond cancer patients and or beyond people living with illnesses or in crisis, would you say that this book would be helpful also to the rest of the logosynthesis community to read, even if they're
Yes.
not
Yes.
sick?
Fully. I think it's a very good self-coaching book, very precise with all kinds of examples that everyone can recognize. And I like the context. I like the context of Yanni being ill, discovering what can I do to help this process to go as smooth as possible. She finds out several tips and she uses logosynthesis. And as a reader, you get easily in this story how Yanni finds moments to just sit and take some time to say some sentences, and then there's an immediate relief, and I love that. So, well, and the book is written in a way that you must not read it from the beginning to the end to understand what it is about. You can just go through the book and see what's interesting for you. You can just pick what you need. Also for people who are ill, I think this is very important. This book is made to use it. So it is not you start at page 1 and you read through the whole book. No, you can just see, oh, where is this interesting part for me? Here are sentences for operation. Okay, I go to page so and so, and this is what I need. Or, oh, I'm interested in Yanni's own story. Has she been ill too? Oh, let's see how it was for her. You can choose, and that's I think a very helpful idea in this book. That's yeah, you can just find what you need. You don't need to read all the theory about logosynthesis or about cancer. If you don't need that, oh please don't go there. It's written for you. It's written for a person who thinks, okay, I'm in a stressful situation and this is not what I want. Is there anyone or anybody, anything that could help me? Well, pick the book and see what you can find.
Right. And if there's someone who is curious about the book but hasn't, gone through it yet, that person has not read the table of contents, what would you tell that person to make them curious about the book to read it?
what would I tell them to make them curious? Well, I certainly would point out to the logosynthesis part, because it is written in such a clear way, with, of course, all the examples from someone being ill. So you can easily understand why and when and where you should say those sentences, how you can put it into a daily thing, not something complicated, but just, well, you have sore eyes. Okay, because of what? Well, everyone will recognize that you can have very sore eyes and you don't feel well about it. You get a clear instruction what you can put together in sentences. It's very simple, in fact, how you can put it together. Then you just sit. That's essential. You sit and take your time so that you're not disturbed. I think it's very important that your system gets the time to understand that, wait, we're doing something new. We're not running around all day in stress, but now we want to sit. We sit and we listen and we wait. And that's a very important piece of the work. And that simple fact already does a lot of good, I think, for everyone, even if they haven't read the book or don't know about cancer or don't know anything about logosynthesis. But if you would like to feel better at some moments in your life, I think you will find something that is very interesting for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Astrid. Are there any final words you would like to tell our audience about the book or about logosynthesis?
Well, I think we are powerful beyond measure as human beings. And even I've studied that for a while. I think even I haven't understood the width, the breadth of this being powerful beyond measure. And we have only begun to discover how to open up to this potential that we have as human beings. We are more than, well, just a human body. We're really much more. And people who are interested in this will also find a bit more in if they start to read about logosynthesis. But I think this book, has strengthened also my opinion about this. So that's my final thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Astrid. And thank you everyone for watching and being with us today. Until next time, take care. Bye.